So before we left town, Rebecca threw together, just pulled out from the fridge veggies and potatoes and salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic, and sausages, and piled those all in foil, and then built a fire and threw those little foil packages like right into the fire, and within 30-45 minutes we had a delicious meal. It was really good, and I'm like, I could even do something like that if I just put a little effort in. Anyway, it was great. We roasted marshmallows. The sun went down. Ellie went to bed in the tent. We sat at the fire until the fire burned down, and then we went to bed. And then the next thing I know, I hear music playing. Now, granted, it's New Year's Eve, so I'm thinking, where's that music coming from? Is it coming from another campsite? Because there are a lot of people camped out here. But it was coming from the tent, and I'm like, hey, who's playing that music? And then Rebecca's like, there are coyotes. I was like, what? There's coyotes. I hear them licking. We can hear them licking. They're walking around our tent. They're sniffing. I'm like, do we have, like, but why? We totally forgot that there was one foil package left with meat, with leftover sausage in the package, sitting in the fire pit. I was like, oh no. I was like, well, I'm looking out the roof nest. I'm like, I don't see coyotes. I said, they're gone. I said, they probably got the food and took off, and they're gone. So everybody settles back down, goes back to sleep. And then I don't know how much time passed, but then Rebecca's like, Michelle. I was like, what? They're back. I was like, really? Yep. She's like, they're all over. Now, Rebecca is a seasoned camper. This is not like it's not like she's never camped before, but Ellie's never camped before. Ellie is like so panicked that they end up moving all their stuff from the tent into their SUV and turning the back of the SUV into a camper. And when I got out, so I got out of the roof nest to help them, and I walked over to the fire pit, and I was like, oh my gosh. I said, they couldn't find the meat. They could smell it, but it was wrapped up tight in the foil, and so they couldn't find it. And so I took the foil out of the fire pit and walked it like 100 feet down the road, and like tossed it into the road, which in hindsight wasn't the right thing to do. I should have just thrown it in the trash and then put the trash in the vehicle. But you know, hindsight is 20/20, and there are so many people out here that they're used to people, and they're scavengers. They're looking for food the way any scavenger looks for food. So I said to Ellie, I said, well, you will never forget this camping trip, because it's your first camping trip and it's New Year's Eve. I'm just hoping that it doesn't scare her away from camping for like the rest of her life. Because, I mean, there was just no talking her down, I said, the coyotes don't want you. They want the food. I'm like, they're hungry and they're scavengers. I'm like, they're not trying to eat you. They don't eat people. So this was the fun New Year's overnight camping trip. It's memorable. I don't think I'll forget it. How was your New Year's?